I really feel like, you know, the mapping, the 2D sonar, the down, the side, and of course the Panoptics are just as important, you know, fishing shallow as they are deep. And there's a lot of ways that, you know, of course depth, you know, it's all a key factor. Anytime I'm fishing, it doesn't regardless if I'm fishing in a foot of water or, you know, 50 foot of water, I always have my electronics on. Because the deal is, even if that fish is shallow or deep, it is always something that's holding it. Whether it's a hard bottom, you know, people joke, oh, if you fish shallow all the time, all you got to do is just stick your rod down in the water and tell how deep it is. And that's fine and all. But the deal is, I want to know exactly where every fish came from, the depth that that fish was in. And like I said, it does, regardless, deep or shallow, it's all irrelevant, you know. That little key piece of cover, you know, inside the cover. And by using my units that way, I can find it. It kind of goes back to the deal I said earlier about fishing the 4-day events. I will manipulate a grass bed. I'll fish all over it, say the first day of the tournament. And you know, this area is key, this area is key. But when you're out there in a big opening like that, it's hard to tell where you left marks if you're not watching your unit and drawing a track line. And basically what I'll do is checkerboard it or, you know, spider web it. When I get through with that area by the end of the week, I have painted, and I'll leave my tracks up every day. What I typically like to do is paint a different color. Like maybe the first day of the tournament's a red, the next day is black, so on. So I know that yesterday I fished right here. Well, today I need to move over and fish one line right next to it. With that being said, the sped up version to me, of the side scan is the Panoptics. Like, that is something that I started using last year in February, and it's probably one of the biggest tools now for me. Now, will it ever take the place of 2D and the down and the side? No. I feel like you need it all. But one thing it's done for me, it's all real time. And because the deal is, I have a tendency to fish too shallow to see a lot of that. You know what the deal is, I didn't have the opportunity to spend a lot of time out deep with it. I did have the opportunity to spend a lot of time shallow with it. And what I liked about it was I could hunt in grass. I can cover so much water while I'm fishing because I'm throwing here and I'm covering everything on both sides of me like this, everything in front of me at all times. And you know how we've learned over times how even when you're dialed into doing something, you always have one eye watching that screen. You know, you're always paying attention to it. And that was the one thing that really amazed me last year, that I'd be fishing along and not even think I was looking at it. I'd be like, what is that? And I'd catch a glimpse of it, just a piece of it, and then I would turn my trolling motor, and there it was. Whether it was a tree, a fish. I had another deal, it's so cool. I'm going down a line of boat docks. I don't see anything. I'm not seeing any fish. I fish and fish and fish, and this is at Hartwell. And I fish down through there, and I'm looking, I turn it, look. The cool thing about this deal, like under the fish, typically not during practice ever, because you're trying to learn as much as possible, but when I'm spending a lot of time sitting in one place, if I can get by with it, even, because let me tell you this, that's now that's one of the disadvantages to this high-powered electronics. That transducer sends out such a stronger signal than anything that we've had before. If you don't believe me, leave them all alone and leave them on the trailer and listen to them. I mean, they get it. Now, that's one thing about the Panoptics transducer. They're quiet. I don't know how they did that. That's a different deal. But like regular 2D and down, it's clicking a lot. And a lot, especially if even it may be the first day that I'm fishing a place during a tournament, I won't turn them off, but fishing shallow, a lot of times I do. Or if I'm fishing around other boats, I turn them off. Or if it's a deal where I'm pulling up and poling down and fishing everything around me, because they get used to that. You know, fish can't reason, but they know if that sound and something bad happened. I watched my buddy get ripped out, and every time I heard that, you see this a lot now. I wouldn't say it's common, but let me see if I can find my deal. Oh, yeah. All right, so last year I ran that's a 7612 and a 7610. All right, you know, you got so many, you know, and it's a luxury to have that. And I know that without a doubt. It's a luxury to have this setup. I basically had the same setup on the front and on the back. On the front, I ran the Panoptics unit on the 7610, and then I ran this setup on the 12 that was on the front and then on the back. And so the cool thing is, now I've changed this a little bit. Now this will be I would say across the board with the elite field next year, either 212s or something similar to that, 29s, you know, regardless of whose brand they're using or whatever. That'll be a real common setup. Now the cool thing is, and I've changed next year, I'm only going to run one unit, but it is a 70.
I hope you enjoyed the preview clip, and for more like that and the entire collection, subscribe to the Bass University TV. And if you want the tackle that you see on there, I want you to go to the Bass University Tackle Shop, powered by Tackle Warehouse, and click right here, and it's all at your fingertips.
You want to become a better angler?
You want to catch more and bigger bass at your local pond?
Then check out Bass University TV for hardcore bass fishing information.
Hey, I'm Pete Gluzek,
And I'm Mike Iaconelli.
and this is Bass University TV.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Gluzek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests.
Everywhere I go in the country, I'm trying to use these techniques because I catch big fish that way.
From on the water to in the classroom,
We want to use that bait to help make that area even smaller and really find that sweet spot.
you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills.
You want something that's got a nice limber action, that's going to allow you to build pressure and keep those hooks pinned against that fish's mouth.
Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time.
Hold on, because you're going to catch some big fish.
Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best.
That's a key theory in all of fishing.
Subscribe to Bass University TV today.
Man, does it trigger a lot of strikes.
Here's the part that you're not going to hear anywhere else. This is the Bass University TV exclusive.